Hey guys, sorry, a couple quick notes to spit out before jumping right into the next installment of the roundtable discussions that the visionary hero of Canton and I have been doing. First, I wanted to give a huge shout of thanks to Justin / the Visionary for handling all the editing responsibilities on this thing. He gathered up all the different tracks we laid down, edited them together, spliced them, cleaned them up, removed some of the awkward pauses and breaks that we took and stuff like that, and then shot it back to me. So that was absolutely championship caliber. Thanks so much, man, seriously. Also, wanted to extend a public apology to both of those guys because I've been sitting on releasing this thing for about a week. We recorded right after the 106 patch, so in a couple places you'll hear that referred to as, quote, yesterday, and it's been a while now, and they had their stuff together right out of the gate. My slow ass did not, so sorry guys. Getting around to it now. Also, one more thing, this works best as a podcast style. There's no footage, no editing in the video or anything like that, so maybe just throw it on in the background while you're playing some Dark Souls 2, or given the fact that you might hate it, play some Dark Souls 1 and get a little bit of rage. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, Phil / Polygon here. I almost went into an episode. Welcome to episode 26. So we are back with another roundtable discussion featuring Hero of Canton. Say hello.
Hello.
And the Visionary.
What up?
AKA Kusoka, as you may know him from the playthrough with Hero of Canton. And the world is all connected.
Oh, God.
So... Please don't derail me.
Okay.
So this time around, we're kind of on the heels of what we were talking about in the last roundtable discussion. If you missed it, I will include a link to it in the description. It's on Hero's channel. And we had a good 150 some odd minutes of bitching might be harsh, but some, negative criticism of Dark Souls 2. We've all been playing it a while. We've been playing it since launch and had some thoughts on it. And this time we were going to kind of build on that and talk about not necessarily some of the positive aspects of it, but just sort of play on it and maybe a little bit more of an objective take and talk about community reactions and mindsets going into it. And it's been a couple of months now, so we've had a good handle on it. How's it sound, guys? That sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's just like, no, dude, we didn't talk about that. What are you?
Fuck that.
Where are you going, Polly? I'm afraid. All right, cool. So I guess starting off with, I'm drawing a blank completely on what we said we were going to start off with.
Objective bullshit.
Or non-objective bullshit. How about that? Because, we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show, just to be transparent about it all. And there were definitely some strong opinions that came out of the network test going into Dark Souls 2. And I felt like in a lot of ways, people kind of went into this thing looking for problems, looking for things that were wrong with the network test, or things that they identified as wrong in the network test. And it was almost like we were starting with the glass half empty. I think you said that, Visionary, in the earlier talking part.
Yeah.
that wasn't recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of going into it, it seemed like there was a lot of negativity and it had a lot of ground to make up out of the gate. True or false?
True. I even sort of fell victim to it for a while. I think a lot of the awesome things that this game has were quickly forgotten, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I wish I would have mentioned this earlier because I like this, and you forget things. And like for example, me, Hero, and Abyss Gravelord did the first discussion, sort of one of these type videos. And we completely forgot to mention power stancing and dual wielding in general, something that I fucking love in this game. And I'm like, I feel really like negative looking back to it. I'm like, we were fucking really negative, and there was something I find so amazing in this game, and I failed to mention it because it's overshadowed just by the negative outlash of the community.
Oh, completely. It's no wonder that we came into this feeling like, there was just like shit to... We wanted to figure everything out, and then we wanted to figure out how we could make it better. And this is like 2 weeks into the game's life cycle. There were people 3 weeks out, like after the game had been released. I'd only just finished playing it for the first time, and there were already people screaming, I'm going to go back to Dark Souls 1 because, the PvP is horrible in this game and it needs to be patched, but I'm going to come back in a year and a half and see how it is,
Yeah, 3 weeks is probably generous too. I feel like it was maybe even a little bit quicker than that.
Mm-hmm.
So how about this? Just a quick tangent. because I've been guilty of this in my last couple appearances of voice, saying that it's like I'm on the fence about whether or not I like the game. I'm ready to commit. I do like the game. I'm having fun playing this game, and I'm a Dark Souls 2 fan. What about you guys? Hero, what do you think?
Oh, I like the game. I really, really like it. I had some experience with it recently online as well. Like, so I haven't just been doing PvE like I usually do. And I really like it. I like some aspects more than others, but
sure.
Yeah, I had a good time. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I think where I find I like it most is completely circumstantial. Like, I really don't like the game by myself all that much. Or not, I don't like it, but I find it really lackluster. I go back and forth on the PvP, but I mean, I know I've probably said it a million times, but the co-op, I mean, Evidence, me and Hero, I mean, I love the shit out of that. And it's not just, I mean, a large part of it is because me and Hero are buddies and we're having fun playing the game, but like, I think the game lends itself really well to co-op and that sort of style of play, at least for what I like to do, you know, what I value in that sort of experience.
Oh yeah, completely. It feels like a game that it feels like a good game to play with people that you know and you like as well, rather than, you know, going back and playing some shitty co-op game that, you know, even if you're sitting with someone that you have a good time with, it's still a shitty game, you know?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, so I haven't, I've done a couple co-op sessions with people I know, and it kind of feels like a lot of those old split screen games when you'd have people over to your house and you're playing on the same television sitting right next to each other.
I still do that.
Oh, do you really? Wow.
Yeah.
What still has that?
What games?
Yeah, what games?
Oh, I'll play a lot of random ones.
Okay.
Me and Chase played Fuse, I think. A game that no one's probably, it's some third-person shooter. A lot of third-person shooters. Fucking Gears of War Horde mode or Nazi zombies. Like, those kind of games are fun with especially split screen. That's just fun. I think it's the panic games that lend itself well, and I think one of the real good qualities to this game that really sucks single player, but I think it's cool in co-op, is it's so fucking long. It's huge, so you really feel like you have so much to do with your buddies, and you have this sort of this end goal that you can't really do in, you know, a couple hours. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
I like it. Yeah.
I agree. I concur, gentlemen.
It's a stupidly long game by yourself, because you think, okay, I've done, you know, 10 bosses and I've gotten, you know, 4 Estus Flash shards and I'm feeling good, and I've accidentally killed the Emerald Herald, and I've still got
not accidentally.
60%. I've still got 60% left of the game to go. I didn't even know. Because Stranglet Castle takes so long, and like the Shrine of Amana as well. Well,
I played through that just recently, and I mean, like kind of the length came up on the last one too, but Shrine of Amana just goes on forever. And actually, so let me throw something in here too. It's like on the last one, like I said, we were going on and on and on and on and on about all the shit that is wrong with this game, and we were also being constructive in terms of how to fix it and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of weird too, talking to sort of like community. We'll go back to the community initial impressions and stuff like that, but it seems like the game is incredibly divisive in the Souls community too. Like, people either hate the crap out of this thing and think you're an idiot for liking it, or people like it and defend it tooth and nail, and they're, you know, Souls sellouts by the people that hate it. And I think that's goofy. It's like, you can like the game and understand that there's something wrong with it. I don't disagree with any of the critiques that anybody has. We participated in that in the last one. And I still like the game. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best sort of way I can relate to this, and I know this is your channel, so sorry to drag everyone into this. Oh
no, but for this episode, it's our channel.
I go back and forth a lot with people, particularly Ein, on Twitter about anime, and you know, I find this good, I find this bad about something, and we end up arguing whether or not something is good or bad. And when we're talking about a show, I get sort of bombarded with, you know, bias, that's an opinion, whatever. When you're being objective about something, I'm fucking struggling with this, I don't know why. It's basically, you can like something even if it's bad. You can ignore something even if it's bad. If you like something, that doesn't mean that what you like is good. If that makes sense. I mean, like, for example, say I like a show, and I say, well, they're writing, okay, for if there's any anime nerds out there like me, say the show Guilty Crown. The show has fucking horrible writing, questionably written characters, the animation's great, it has high res, but it gets criticized a lot, like to the point where it's fucking 0 out of 10 status for its shit writing. But I fucking love the show, and I consider it one of my favorite shows just because I enjoy it, disregarding all that stuff. So when I say, you know, this was badly designed in a game, a lot of the times people, you know, that hear that, they go, well, that's your opinion, and I'll be like, well, no, like, they could have done it this, and this. It literally looks like some things are just bad fucking game design. Like, I don't know another way to say it. Like, some things just fucking are. And a lot of people will, I cringe every time I use the word bias, because people use it to tell you, oh, you have an opinion.
Right.
But, yeah,
you think something, you're biased.
Yeah. They completely invalidate what you're saying. Basically, you can like something even if it's bad. If something is objectively bad, you can still enjoy it. I could fucking say, this was a train wreck of a fucking character in this show, in this game, in this whatever, and I can be like, I like that. Like, if you look at, like, again, like, not even an example, any show, and be like, that is not even a fucking character, that's an archetype. But I am a sucker for that archetype, therefore I love that character, despite the fact that it's not brilliant. You know what I mean? So I think that people are almost trying to be elitist about Dark Souls 2, because that's sort of, people got so in-depth with Dark Souls 1, that's sort of the mindset they had towards the late game, that people are going into it with this game and projecting all this bullshit onto it, being like, this is good, this is bad, that means it automatically sucks, and that means that I automatically hate it. When, like, calm down, people, it's okay to like things. It's okay. I think that was my main point. It was a struggle, but we got there.
Nice.
Don't let me talk for more than 10 seconds. I'll fuck everything up.
I'll start playing you off.
Yeah.
Music slowly fades in. Okay, so I would say in general too with things, it's much easier to pinpoint negative aspects than it is positive. Like, positive always seems to be very intangible. You're charmed with something, you like something spoke to you because it's a relatable experience or something like that. Whereas negativity, you can point at it and say, this specific thing is so stupid and so broken. And so it's a lot easier to pinpoint that than it is sort of the positive side of it. It is for me, at least, when I'm thinking about things. And kind of like what you were saying, there's a lot of things where I don't know why I like that. Maybe that makes me not self-aware, but maybe this just something cool about it that I really dug, and I can't exactly specify why.
Yeah, I think this is a big thing with the visual media in general, because a lot of it, I know the word is like so overplayed when it comes to shit, especially with the David Cage games. This word gets thrown around a lot, but it's immersion. And if I think in visual media, you can passively like a lot of things, and that contributes to your overall immersion. So when you like something bad, it's the reason why it's noticeable is because it breaks that immersion to where, I mean, it's exactly like it's passively liking something. The fact that it is there, but it's supportive of fucking, I suck.
Here comes the
it's kind of like,
music.
Go ahead.
It's kind of like you know when you like something, like you get used to liking something, and then like it's kind of like that. You don't know what you have until suddenly it's gone, and you've noticed that something's gone wrong.
Mhm.
Like, I was self-plug. I was having a stream yesterday, and I was going
Oh shit!
through
You're scum.
through undead through the undead crypt at soul level 1, and everything was going fucking swimmingly. I really loved it, and I was having a really great time until I realized that those cyan halberd soldier knight whatever, those things that guard the way up to Velstadt have the most broken fucking tracking on their halberds
Yeah.
that I have ever encountered. I died like 20, 25 times to them on stream. And that really made me, I was like, I hated this bit, you know? But up until that point, I was having a great time. I loved the game up until that point, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so much easier to just say with passion and, you know, with hate to say, you know, this thing I really hated, but you go, well, what did I like about the previous bit? Well, my character moved nicely, and I liked the way the little tassel things on my character's hat moved with the way I was moving, and it's like the tiny little things that make you think, you know, this is great, and you just kind of ignore after a while. And I think, it's just in general, it's much easier to say what you don't like than what you like about a game.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I feel exactly the same way about the Dragon Shrine. Like, you're playing through the Dragon Shrine, it's kind of like, this is fun, this is beautiful, this is cool, and then you run into one of those mace-wielding Drake Keepers with the broken frames, like, busting the shit out of you, and it's just kind of, the moment where
Upgrade your ADP, man.
That's right. I saw that video. So like the moment where things start going wrong, you don't notice everything up until that point. You hit it exactly right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
That Drake Keeper though.
Oh my God. And it's like where he breaks frames to hit you and swing faster. Oh my heavens.
I've never had a problem with his infinite stamina thing, ever.
You've never run into it, or it's fine with you?
I've never run into it. I heard, and I think it was confirmed by Jerp, apparently, but I don't know about everyone else's experiences, but that AI trigger is when you block. It does that when you have your shield up.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't block. I have shields for Fashion Souls, and I roll. So typically when like I either dodge him or I die in 2 hits because I'm not timing my rolls right because I have base ADP. ADP wins. And I don't know. I mean, you'll see when me and Hero get there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as I think one of the most frustrating things in that sort of negative viewing stuff is enemy AI, because a lot of it is when you're talking about things you like in a game for some unknown reason, it's, I mean, going back to what I said before, it's like something passive, but when you have, like, I'm talking like aesthetically or something like that, but when you're talking about AI, you know what's in front of you, it's in your face, and it's suddenly doing something unexpected and something that you don't deem fair in that moment. So it's immediate, and especially in Dark Souls, it's like, if something fucks you over, you know, this isn't, I don't know, some checkpointy game. This is go back to the bonfire and do everything over. I mean, I realize that's Dark Souls, and there's no sense in, like, I'm not crying about it, but that's what adds to the frustration level with that, especially in a Souls game. And I think that is attributed, or the community, I think that's why the community is so vocal, because the game sort of forces those strong emotions on you, because the developers, like, the mindset is, yeah, you're going to get pissed at this, but when you finally beat it, you're going to feel real good. So it sparks those loud voices.
And speaking of loud voices, there was a lot of loud negative voices going into this game. At launch, it started way behind the 8 ball.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I don't think it was a good idea for fucking every loud voice out there to prologue right after the beta test. They're like, I'm not sure, it's probably gonna suck. That already rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm like, you guys, stop. The game's not even out. And everyone was like, no, the network test title was just a gimmick. It's like, no, retards. It wasn't a beta, it was a network test. That's why there's a limited amount of people that got in, because they're testing the servers. Like, and a lot of things changed. Like, I mean, we can look back now. A lot of things changed. Fucking phantoms were allowed to sit at bonfires in the network test. What do you call it? Weight had a small impact on your roll speed, and now all the roll speeds are the same except fat and whatever. What else? Fucking soul levels were out of control. You had way more health in the beta. I don't know about number-wise, but health bar-wise, I think every class was around like level 20 in the beta?
Yeah.
I'm saying beta. I'm obviously talking about network tests. I don't feel like saying 3 syllables when I could say 2. But yeah, your health bar was fucking more than half of the screen, and you're at level 20 with like 14 vitality. It's like, that ain't in the fucking game now. That's like a quarter of the screen. There's a lot of differences core mechanically like that are really different. And I think that it wasn't really fair. I don't mean that to sound like a poor Dark Souls 2, I'm crying kind of way, but like it wasn't, I don't know, I just find that so asinine. Like, the developers, unlike the whole graphical changes engine lighting thing, were actually upfront and honest. This is a network test. Do not expect magic. It's not a beta. We're not seeing if you like the game or not. We're seeing if you will fuck up the amount of money we're putting into the servers. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. I understand. That's absolutely the root cause of it. But I mean, they had to be pretty confident in what they had at that point in order to release it to the public, because they knew that it was going to go up on YouTube. They knew that people were going to be judging it right out of the gate. They knew that people were going to be trying to play it exactly the same as Dark Souls.
I think there was a certain degree of, yes, we know that we're releasing this to you. We kind of hope that you don't make fun of what we've done so far, because there's a pretty big likelihood that some things are going to change, so we don't want you to make, any hasty judgments about things. But at the same time,
gotcha.
We can't not have this network test because we need to know if we're ready for this, because how much fucking shit are we gonna get if we release a game and the servers just plainly do not work for like 3 months?
Yeah, nobody can connect to anybody. And
yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, and this actually tackles another point. It goes into the whole server fixing thing, if that were the case, and when people start screaming patch this, it's broken, patch this. Do people know patches cost a lot of money for a game development team to implement? Like, that shit is fucking dollar heavy. And I mean, granted, Dark Souls 2, like, made a lot of money, but they intentionally rack up a few fixes, quite a fucking few, before they fix anything, and if they even need to fix it. I feel like they're sort of doing it the right way. I mean, yeah, we'd like them to go faster, but they're sort of, like, waiting on it. Like, will people shut up if we don't patch it for, a month? Okay, no, they're still crying. All right, let's put it in the fix list, and then they take care of it. Like, that was, what do you call it? People were saying that about the what do you call it? The grain ring in Dark Souls 1. People were saying that, like, in almost the very beginning, because you had elemental weapons that fucking one-shot, everybody and did all kinds of insane damage, and then you couldn't hit them with the grain ring. People were saying there were problems with the grain ring when, like, before they fixed the elemental weapons, and they waited and waited on that. So I think, although I would like everything I have a problem with to be fixed with the game fucking immediately, I think it's smart for From to hold off on shit based on, especially when you change one thing, it has to go through almost like filters of what it's now compatible with or incompatible with, like, balance-wise. So, and that goes to, like, I mean, something as simple as how there's 2 new stats in the game. Is it 2? 3? I can't remember. I mean, that's...
Sure.
That now affects a lot of different things. I mean, stats, obviously, pretty much everything in the game that's controlled by the player. And if you make a change to, one of those stats, you now have to like say they messed with the scaling of agility on adaptability. Now you have to see how that balances with total soul level while you're going through the area, because they intentionally, or if they were trying to control like the relative soul level in any given area. Bosses where it would be more beneficial to the player, and sort of the intended style is to roll rather than block. They have to sort of hold your hand and guide you through some parts, and have the game work in conjunction with all the elements. So when you change one thing, especially like big wise, like damage, I know like damage is a huge thing. If you reduce fucking damage on, a couple things, say spells, well, now it has to go through PvE, it has to go through bosses, it has to go through enemies with high magical defense, enemies with low magical defense, because you don't want to be underpowered or overpowered. It has to go through all the fucking shit in PvP through every armor set, all this, and it's like, that requires time, and unfortunately, now that you bought this game, you're the testing base. I mean, it's good that you're crying and, whatever, get your voice heard. So, if that's something that they deem that they will fix, then they will if other people are crying with you, but...
It's going to get you hate, man. That's going to get you so much hate.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, so this just popped into my head too. Like, so what we're doing right now, a lot of people who are very negative about the game, who are down on the game, who maybe have given up on it already, would absolutely peg as being fanboys. Like, we are sort of defending, trying to rationally defend a lot of the stuff, in the mechanics of the game, in like the guts of the game. And I wonder, like, that, regarding people that like the game, the positive aspects of things, it does seem like it is very much on the defense right now, because there's a lot of very loud negative voices who are pointing at very, very specific things. And it's like the plus side, the positive camp, is just reacting to that and saying, well, this might be why, or this might be why. It seems like very few people are pointing out very specific positive things that they like and ignoring the negative, just in the same way that the negative is ignoring the positive and only focusing on the stuff that they have beef with. Like, the positive camp seems very, very reactive right now. And I mean, I can see how that could be taken to be a fanboy, but that term is thrown around a lot. Like, if you like this game, you are basically a fanboy, is the perception that I'm seeing, at least.
The thing is, I mean, since we're uploaders, we see a lot of fucking opinions. So I can totally see where you get that. Yeah, and I can think of everything to counter it. Because, I mean, I know me and you and Hero make a conscious effort to talk to fucking everyone. Because, I don't know, we're trying to validate our own opinions or something. Maybe that's what this whole thing is. But, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the times, people that say, oh, they like the game or they don't mind something from... I'm fucking condemning myself with this video as far as hate goes. But I think when people say, oh, this doesn't bother me, here's why. I think a lot of the why is either bullshit or incorrect or just dumb.
Your opinion is dumb and you are incorrect and you are not smart. Get out of my comment section.
Well, so there's a lot of things, like, I notice a lot of people, I'm not going to call anybody out, but I notice a lot of people who are making very passionate arguments, against the game and working very hard to they're using words like, well, objectively, this is broken. Objectively, that doesn't make sense to a development team. And they're trying to sound very, very knowledgeable and inside about a lot of these things. They're disguising their opinions as black and white things. Like, if X, then the game sucks. And X, so the game sucks.
You have a bias. Get the fuck out.
Exactly. So I do hear a lot of that, but like I said earlier, I mean, it's very difficult for me to argue with a lot of the critiques people are making. They say, it's imbalanced, and it's kind of like, yep, sure fucking is. And they're trying to fix that with patches, and I hope they do. And I don't feel compelled to say, well, just stick with it. The patches will make everything okay. It's kind of like, if you hate it, that's cool. I'm having an okay time.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince me to hate it, despite your highfalutin faux logic. But I mean, it's I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. But it does seem like the people who are enjoying the game are on the defensive. They're trying to react to very specific things, very specific criticisms, that I don't really react. Like, we talked about this on the last one. We pointed out a crap ton of problems, and we all just said that we're having fun with the game. And it's like, it's not black and white. It's not this you're in or you're out thing. Dark Souls 2 From really screwed the pooch, and this is the last time I ever have faith in the dev team, and it's the B team and all that kind of thing. And it's sort of like, yeah, I think it was, but I'm okay. I'm still playing. I'm still pouring hours into this thing. And I think that's okay. And it really does seem divisive in the community in terms of people trying to force you into saying, into being a fanboy or a hater. And I'm a little disappointed by that. I'm a little fatigued by that. I'm tired of hearing the same criticisms of the game. And it's kind of like, we all know. If you are defending these things by saying, wait for a patch, you are acknowledging that there's a problem. But it ultimately comes down to, are you having a good time with the thing? And if you're not, stop it. And if you are, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. And this goes back to something I use to justify any sort of balancing issues I have with the game, especially in PvP. It's people, I don't know if people forgot or what, like, it's been a thing since Demon Souls, but this game isn't fair. The game never tells you it's fair. You're supposed to get pissed, and things are supposed to be imbalanced. They're supposed to, like, if everyone in the PvP community is always like, well, this weapon isn't viable, and this weapon isn't viable, and yeah, there's sort of pseudo ways to make every weapon viable or every armor or whatever, but I don't think with how they're selling it and how they're designing it, I don't think that should be one of their concerns. I mean, they're marketing it as, yeah, we're gonna dick you over, and you're probably gonna like it. So, bend over. Like, that's the game. Like, it's not fair. And I think for the most part, when I hear people, like, defending the game, I almost get excited. I'm like, thank God, like, some people don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah, so on that, like, the topic of, hearing people actually liking the game and saying positive things about it, and that being fucking refreshing, at your request, Justin, I watched the first bit of the Soulbrand podcast, and people were saying they loved the game. These big voices.
Episode 1, the first one? Yeah, I saw the
first
one. Yeah, totally.
Just saying that...
Oh, from paid them, though.
Oh,
from
yeah, completely, no. Sellouts. But, people going like, well, it's a couple weeks in or whatever, what has your experience been like? And, like, pretty much the unanimous opinion was, I fucking love it. With a bit of my spice there. I just...
Hero spice, best spice.
Spice is OP.
Oh.
God.
Okay, positive.
Okay. Can we talk about spice?
But we'll talk about it objectively.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, finish your thought. What were you saying?
Just that it was really nice, and I listened to that entire podcast because, oh, good. I'm not listening to people complain about shit that everybody's been complaining about without, offering ways to fix it, and not, just like pointing a finger at From and saying, you were bad, why did you release a game like this, how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, I mean, I acknowledge there are a lot of problems with the game, and ultimately it just comes down to a decision. Does the fun you're having overpower the problems? That's the case in anything you do. Nothing anyone does is perfect. Probably. I don't know anybody, at least. Maybe Hero. But like the There you go. There's a little love, but like I don't know. It in everything like you mentioned movies, you mentioned anime. This has to do with like taking a walk. Taking a walk is a pain in the ass, but it's I get to get them fresh air and see the beautiful neighborhood and hear the birds chirping and all that kind of shit. Like everything you do has pros and cons, and ultimately it just comes down to making a decision for yourself. Like is this more enjoyable than less? And if it is, keep doing it, and if it's not, stop doing it.
Oh, absolutely. I went and I did some arena stuff in the Blue Sentinel.
Yeah.
Thing. And my 20 matches or so that I had there, because I had that many tokens of fidelity, it was fucking horrible. You had people with dual power stanced Evelynns and Lancers that were invisible because they had the challenge rings on that they likely got from a mule.
Almost certainly.
They had invisible Santia's spears. They had Great Resonant Soul or Climax with the Abyss ring on and all of that. And take it, those things now, Santia's spear, Avalon's, and Great Resonant Soul specifically, and the Abyss ring have all been nerfed in this most recent patch, like a day ago.
Yeah.
To a significant degree.
Spear?
Yeah, Santia's spear has been reduced by 21% in damage-wise.
Damage reduction.
And it does less stamina damage when it hits shields as well, so it doesn't break guards nearly as easily.
Why the fuck did they do that? I think they should have just made it like non-upgradable, or like not able to be mundane upgraded. I really like the Santir Spear a lot.
The thing is that they kind of had to work around the fact that everybody already had mundane Santir Spears. They couldn't just say,
you're right.
Well, this weapon can't be made, they can't just say this weapon can't be mundane anymore because everybody's got it. It's in the code. It's there. They've got it. So what they had to do was change the numbers of the things that people already had. They could say with other weapons,
You're right.
Okay, this weapon can no longer be made mundane, just like they can say with bows, you can't make bows poison because that's bullshit. You have to use your poison arrows if you want poison. You can't get double poison. But yeah, they had to go back and say,
that's a great point.
Okay, we're going to reduce the Avalon damage from 100 or 200 or whatever it was to 25 plus the scaling. So now it does 30% less damage overall over 3 shots.
Yeah. And I mean, the arenas are built to be try-hard PvP locations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just because you get penalized for losing.
With
S's. Yeah, absolutely.
And going back to what I actually wanted to start this with is I went and did the arena. It was fucking terrible. I wasn't having fun anymore. I went and did some random invasions. I had tons of fun. I had a really good night. I really enjoyed it. I got ganked like 6 or 7 times or something, but I spent 4 hours just invading and invading and invading, and I lost, and I had some gripes with the game, but the fun that I was having was outweighing the negative feelings that I was having with regards to, getting hit twice before you're able to get out of a stun lock, and not being able to heal as an invader without warmth or great heal spiced down. It was a good experience, and it was so refreshing because all I've been hearing from people who PvP is, it's horrible, it's terrible, I'm going back to Dark Souls 1.
And that's not...
Yeah. Why are people so vocal about them going back to Dark Souls 1 that they feel the need to announce it?
Because they want everyone to come back to Dark Souls 1 with them so that it's not dead.
Fucking
I haven't been back.
Bye.
Have you been back? Is it dead? I imagine it is.
I haven't been back in random, but I've gone to Stoicism with some buddies.
I imagine for me it would be
it.
dead because I've got a moderate nat type, and it was pretty close to dead when Dark Souls 2 was around the corner. So,
and that's that's fine. Go back and play Dark Souls 1. Go back and play Demon Souls. Go back and play whatever it is. That's fine.
Yeah, stop making me feel bad about the thing I'm enjoying.
I'm not a chump, guys. Come on.
There's nothing wrong with going
not true.
back to something either. Like, what? Like, one of the strongest things, or one of the biggest strengths of these games, and the reason I'm not really a gaming channel and more of a Souls channel, is because the replayability on these games are fucking nuts. Like, it's absolutely insane, the replayability. I mean, I'm like playing Demon Souls and shit right now, and it's just, I'm having as much fun as I've always had playing it, and they hold up.
Yeah.
And going back to Dark Souls 1, I mean, it's like fucking cool. I'm glad you didn't forget how awesome that game was. And Dark Souls 2 is awesome. Shut up. It's just awesome in different ways. Fucking Demon Souls. Fucking stunlocks were a problem. I was okay with them. Stunlocks were a problem. Fashion Souls was garbage. Fucking no. Stop. It is the general consensus of everyone who's played Dark Souls that the Demon Souls Fashion Souls sucks ass.
Now you're doing what
armors.
we're railing against. You're trying to invalidate my opinion with your opinion and the louder voices of those opinions.
Well, no. The reason that Fashion Souls sucks is because there's like less than 20 armors in the game. Or is there about 20? Maybe not even that. I don't know.
In real life, I have about 7 t-shirts, and I think I'm very fashionable. Thank you.
You have 7 t-shirts?
No, I have more than that.
Holy shit. Yeah, so fucking Demon Souls had problems, obviously, but you go back to it because it does a lot of things better than Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. You go back to Dark Souls 1, and it does a lot of things better than Demon Souls, and like Dark Souls 2, fucking, like, let's name some things Dark Souls 2 does better than both games, fucking, by far. Biggest one off the top of my head is dual wielding.
Amazing. I think that's and it's unfortunate too that is a really cool new mechanic and introduces a really exciting new way to play the game, and it just gets completely overshadowed by negative opinions.
Because, well, also I think a lot of the I don't mean to like call anyone out or anything, but a lot of the attention to dual wielding from uploaders and streamers and stuff is, let's find the most broken OP combination we can get to make all this shit powerful. I mean, and that's kind of what you should do. I mean, you know, you find the strongest stuff. That's sort of what you strive for in any game. But dual wielding just, like, as a concept loses its meaning because now it's like DPS, not, you know, look at this, it's neat. But yeah, fucking dual wielding, ascetics. I think the ascetic system is badass.
Oh, that's cool. I really like that. Is I like being able to, you know, because I get a hard on for like certain bosses in games, and I really like just being able to beat the boss, be like, I really like that boss, I want to get better at it. I'll burn an ascetic, and I'll just fight it again. I'll just do that again. Because what I hated about Demon Souls was if I wanted to fight Alan again, like if I just wanted to fight nothing but Alan for a whole day, you know, and get better and better and better at killing him, I'd have to actually go through the entire 15 bosses, so 16 bosses before him, or as it turns out, 6 bosses before him, because I didn't know you could actually kill him
early,
before killing everybody else. Yeah.
Or you could just wait till he has 1 hit left and use a Shard of Archstone and go out.
Yeah, but that's not satisfying.
Sure. I'm with you. I actually... Oh, sorry, were you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say, yeah, that's absolutely right and absolutely cool. Because, I mean, there's a lot of games that I play that aren't Souls games where I will keep around my save games before a particular fight that I really enjoy or that I think is cool and randomly just go back and play them. And this gives you that replayability with the added difficulty. And so, you know, after you get really proficient at a certain fight, it does lose a little bit of its charm, and this keeps it interesting up to, you know, bonfire strength. I don't know how it goes. Does it go to 99?
It goes to 99, but I think it works just like New Game Plus. I don't think it gets any harder. Yeah, or 8, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I actually don't know what the upper limit of the scaling is this time around.
Yeah, oh, by the way, I have the mule, and I just found this little tidbit thing. Cool. I have the mule, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a test build. I want to fucking figure out everything about this game, like just dissect it. So I made an 838 build, and I'm like, I'm gonna be able to do everything. I'll just test stuff, and I found that diminished returns happen at like 0. Like you level up, like if you level up your dex and strength, like that shit goes all the way up to 99 at a decent rate, like at the same rate almost as it starts from base. So I mean I 99'd my dex, and I have like my Ricard's rapier goes from fucking like 340 or 350 all the way to 388 or some shit from 50 to 99. It's like that's an extra 30, you know what I mean? Like that's almost as much as it gets from 10 to 40 or 50. And I just thought that was really weird. Like what? So I'm curious on what that puts on the whole scaling aspect, because
you should post that. That'd be really interesting to see. Well, and I think that's another point in terms of, just as a design choice with this game, they didn't want a meta. They wanted to keep you leveling. The soft caps are, if they're still there, they are a lot softer. And they just wanted to keep you. And then, I mean, that's just one of the facts of life with this game, with soul memory and leveling. It's just kind of, that's what the game wants you to do. And that's one of the things people have a really difficult time with, because, the metagame was in place for Demon Souls. It was in place for Dark Souls. And it is pretty broken in Dark Souls 2 in terms of maintaining that for random encounters. You can go out and have fight clubs with your friends at 150 with 15 million soul memory, and that's all well and good. But what's, some 838 invader can come swooping in and just wreck the thing.
Yeah, and my least fucking favorite thing that the mule does, say that you're co-oping with a buddy, and you're at soul level 20, and you got your buddy in here who's around the same thing, and 838 invades you with the mule because he has like next to no soul memory, and he kills himself. Host gets all the souls.
I've heard about this happening.
And then you have like fucking 3 million soul memory, and then you're unable to play with your buddy. That is fucking.
So the mule.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Oh, ooh.
Holy shit!
Ooh. And I've said from the fucking very fucking beginning, and I know like for a lot of people that do mod or that know how to, it wouldn't make a difference. But for the vast majority of people that just kind of like download the mule, use it, like I don't know how to fuck with it, whatever, like that just use it, you know what I mean? Dom or whoever fucking ever makes all these mules, there's a few guys, they fucking NG+. Why didn't you put them all in NG+, different server?
Well,
make
quick
all these
question
guys
too,
separate.
does the mule not, it lets you level up independent of soul memory?
Yeah, you start out with 9999 whatever, it was 0 soul memory, so when you spend them, it doesn't count. So you can go 838 with 0 soul memory.
Depends on which version of the mule you have. Dom didn't want that happening. He specifically put out, versions of the mule like before that did have 999 in like your bank already, but you had no soul memory. And there was just like instantly people going, yeah, now I can invade, level 15s with a level 500 character. It's so fun to bully people. Like these were the actual posts in the actual fucking forum. And, I'm sitting here going like, oh God, I want to step on these people. But but Dom fixed, well, he tried, bless him, to fix it by, making sure that people only started with soul items so that when you use the soul item, you would get soul memory. And if you wanted to be an 838, well, you had to fight people who, at the very least, would have as many souls
as it
would take to get to 838. Yeah. And where was I going with this? But the problem is that there are so many versions of the mule out there. Like, there are some with 5 of every weapon. There are some with 20 of every spell. Like, you can have 20 Forbidden Suns if you want. And that it's ridiculous because the mule only has like 3 of most spells and 1 of like the special, like once per game spells, like Forbidden Sun. So that if you want more of that, you have to go and actually find it. And yeah, but the problem is that there's just so many versions of it, and you can't regulate them now because they're just in too many people's hands, and the people that know how to mod them that aren't so morally solid, they we'll go, well, what do people want? Oh, you want a character with everything on it and 99 of all the spices and everything, and, nothing in soul memory but, 9,999 souls? Sure, I'll make that for you. And they post it 2 days later, and then everybody has a new mule to use. And I don't think From could have planned for that.
Yeah, I honestly don't think a game developer should plan on fucking modders and hackers. Like, that's not really a good mentality to have with a game. Like, you have very, like, defensive game design, and I don't know, I think that would have turned out for the worst.
Yeah, I'm with you. You mentioned that on the last one too, and I think you're exactly right.
Oh.
No, I'm appreciating the callback and saying that's right. But okay, so let me ask you, this is just a random question from listening to that. If you have 99 in all your stats, why do you need spice?
Well, you don't.
Well, you don't start out at 838. You start out at whatever
With
the base
max
level
souls and 0 soul memory.
With
yes. I got it. Sorry, I don't I'm not familiar with the mules.
I was using a mule since week 2 because I love experimenting with shit. Like, I literally have about, like, I'd say, like, 60 to 70% of my actual playtime of Dark Souls 2, which is a lot. I have hundreds of hours now, is just in Majula swinging at air and switching clothes and shit and doing all that kind of stuff. Like, I love fiddling with that stuff, so I support the mule because it allows me to have fun with the game in my own way without actually fucking, dicking people over and shit. And I'm glad that there is a mule that isn't Dom's mule, because Dom's mule doesn't work on mine. It makes my game freeze. So, yeah, something with the downloadable versions. I don't know, there was a glitch, and then everyone says it was fixed with the final version, and it still freezes on mine. So, I use what I can use to have fun with the game, and unfortunately someone can use something to have fun with the game, and then other people use it and be like, oh, that's broken. Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotta ruin everybody else's day. Be right back. It is what it is. I mean, this is not the only game to have this happen. Sure. Dear God. And I don't know. I mean, I'm thankful that it's not as bad as, like, fucking curse weapons in Dark Souls 1. You remember those?
Oh, on PC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on PC. The curse weapons.
I remember, I remember getting just this little story. I remember getting hit with one of those and not knowing enough to know that was not legit. It was
I'm going like, holy shit, like, where do I get that?
Oh my God, I gotta get one of those. And then I went on an in-game PvE quest to try and find a weapon that would curse you and egghead you.
Oh God.
Turned you into a dragon.
Never found it.
It was like a it was like a Drake sword or something, and you're like, oh my God, the Drake sword is the best weapon ever.
Yeah.
You go around thinking for 300 hours that the Drake weapon or Drake sword's the best weapon.
Man. That was good times. So one more thing in terms of, or we can keep going. Like, one more thing that I really dig about Dark Souls 2 is I do like, balancing issues aside, I really like the sorcery schools, or I mean the magic schools, like hexes and pyromancy and miracles and sorceries. I think like the faith mage was kind of a thing in Dark Souls in which you can cast sorceries or miracles, but it was a really difficult build to put together because of points and the meta and all that kind of thing. And I think this time around, having the ability to have spells that scale with intelligence or faith, or intelligence and faith, is super fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better if, like, for that kind of stuff, if spices didn't exist.
That's fair.
Because that kind of whacks it all
That's
up,
fair.
jacks it all up.
Actually, can we talk about spices and what kind of happened with the patch with regards to spices yesterday?
What did happen with the patch regards to spices yesterday, Hero?
Well, resonant weapon, the
totally, yes,
the better version than dark weapon, is now just as powerful as dark weapon. It was weakened to the point where it is the same as dark weapon. It lasts less time. And it adds, the same amount of damage, and it takes more attunement slots, so there's no reason that you would ever use Resonant Weapon again, because Dark Weapon does everything for the same, I don't think it should have been hit with the Nerf bat that hard.
Is that what happened?
That being,
Good lord.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That aside, the spices now, like when you spice down something like Great Magic Barrier to 10 Faith, instead of it lasting 120 seconds, it lasts 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's been like fucking shoved right down again, so, and like weapon buffs are the same, so instead of getting like 110 seconds with Dark Weapon, if you spice it all the way down, you get like, it was like 30 seconds or something, and Sunlight Blade is much the same. I think it goes down to like 25. It's ridiculous. It's good. And I think that they made a positive step towards, what spices allowed people to do previously, because I think Amaral put out a video recently where he was Soul Level 1 PvPing, and he had Great Resonant Soul spiced down to 10-10, and he was using the base chime to cast it with, and he was doing 800 damage or so with it.
He couldn't be at 1 and have 10-10.
Yeah, the 2 rings that increase your stats.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, it was
And he was doing fine?
He was doing fine. Great Resonant Soul got hit with the patch as well. Does 30% less damage now.
That's good. How does healing work with spices? Like Great Heal and
healing,
stuff? Does it heal you less?
Healing is the same, because the heal spells do specific numbers.
Sure.
Like heal does 500, mid heal does 800, and I think great heal does 1300. There's no scaling between anything. So as soon as if you just want the heal spell, pull it all the way down to 10 if you want.
Yeah,
I'm okay with those changes. If you think of, I guess, in terms of, values added to the game from external imaginations, I think that makes sense, because if you think of faith or intelligence as your proficiency in casting spells, and the higher it is, the more you can cast more advanced things, you don't have the proficiency to do these things as well as somebody that has higher versions of them. I think that makes sense. I got no beef with that.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't saying I had a beef with it. I think the spice patch change that went on yesterday, brilliant, best thing. I really like it. It's a positive thing about Dark Souls 2, isn't that what we're talking about?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Way to bring it back.
There was something in the patch that I was going to say.
Avalanche.
Oh, yeah. We predicted the future last time. They reload slower now.
Yep.
The tracking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And they do less damage. How about that? We're fucking prophets. How does it feel?
I knew you were going to say that.
I should have had.
Come on, acknowledge my profit joke. I knew you were going to say that. Come on.
Oh, no, I didn't even catch that. You're fucking brilliant. Holy shit.
Good lord.